the movie experience, it feels so watered down now versus how it was, I guess, when
Well,
we were
yeah,
kids.
because
Is it because we're
TV's got
older now, or is it because just the way that media has changed? Also, I saw
media
I was
change.
a really interesting interview with Matt Damon, and Matt Damon was talking
Oh,
about
I saw
why.
this. Yes.
Yeah, so he was
Go
talking
ahead.
about why movies have changed in the past 10 years. And he said it was all because the DVD. I
Yeah,
was
because
like,
it was their second chance to make money.
oh, what the fuck? What does he mean the DVD? And he starts breaking down the cost for movies. And he's like, okay, well, he's like, here you go. Here's a movie that I wanted to do, or the movie that I did, and it was like this, just like this off movie that no one cared about. And he's like, blah 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 blah. It cost $100 million to make. And he was like, you box office, blah 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 blah. You don't make any money until you get to the DVD sales. And he's like, DVDs are essentially a second release when you drop a movie. And now with streaming and everything else, and no one's going and buying the DVDs. They're just streaming all the movies. They're losing all that extra income. So movies have to change in order to keep up with
Because
how they're able to make the
one
money.
shot sale post theater. First of all, theater revenue's down, so it's a one shot sale post theater. With will Netflix buy this? Will HBO buy this? And then the only time you can make money after that is if your contract expires with that service and you sell it to another service.
Right.
That's it. That's literally it. That's the only touch point.
But
where
that's why he was saying, he's like the movies that they were making in the 80s and 90s, like they were able to be the way that they were able to take chances and stuff because they were able to release it on VHS and on DVD and all those things. But now because it has to be so good the first time so that it's able to be streamable, so they can make that money off the first go. Like that's why it has to be the way that it is now. And that sucks. Like it's almost like movies are becoming the same way that like how we've gone from long-term content to short-term content as far as like the TikToks, like the what's quick, what's fast, what's easy to digest, and we can move on. Like that's what movies are starting to feel like. It's all just like it's nothing but like Michael Bay action, boom, 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 like visually attractive. It's really sexy, but it's like those movies of like the slow movies, like the Godfathers or like Hook, or like I'm just trying to think of like just like crazy movies that like stand in my head as far as just like awesome masterpieces. It doesn't feel like you get those anymore because the way that movies have changed.
That's why shows are paramount right now because you can get more. The contract is there with the streaming service. The streaming service benefits from the subscriptions, and you can tell a story over 14 hours.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
most people would say that Lord of the Rings should have been longer movies.
Most definitely. There's no like 2.5 hour movies were like some of those movies clocked in almost 3 hours, and that was unheard of. You didn't have an almost 3 hour movie.
The extended editions are 4.
But that's unheard of for a movie.
Yeah,
hour and 50, 2 hours max.
For instance, Andor. We're gonna get 24 episodes of Andor. That is literally a day's worth of storytelling.
Yeah, because they're gonna clock in probably around like anywhere from 37 to 55 minutes long.
Yeah, it's definitely media's changed. Home theaters and televisions are different than when that stuff came out originally. I remember I was working at Best Buy and the TV game was changing while I was working at Best Buy. It was always like every year there was new innovations in television technology. And you saw the birth of streaming service too while we were there, the Netflix, the DVD rental and all that stuff. And everyone knew like this is gonna kill DVD sales. Because I would get paid. I'd go in the DVD section, the video game section, and I'd be like, what movies don't I have? What games don't I have? Do I need any accessories? And I would spend, probably $100 of my paycheck just with my employee discount buying all this stuff. I don't do that anymore. I used to, the dresser when you walk into my house right to the right of the door? That's full of DVDs.
Oh, that's crazy.
5 of those drawers are full of my DVDs that I have never gotten rid of. I could probably start selling them honestly on eBay or something.
Well, the idea of being able to like stream content or download big pieces of information was crazy. The internet changed that for sure. Do you remember Halo? Like the Halo 2 DLC, you didn't download it. You went and bought the expansion pack and it was a disc and you put it in your Xbox. And like now I remember like the first time that you could download a game to your Xbox or to your PlayStation, and I was like, that's stupid. Like, why would I want to do that when I could go buy a disc? And now I'm just like, why the heck would I want to buy a disc? That's just dust. Like this is gonna get covered in dust. It's gonna sit there like it's clutter. But yeah, like 20 years ago, I'd be like, oh, I want to show that off. I want my friends to see it and all this stupid stuff.
I
So it's
think
just crazy. It's crazy how things have changed.
one of the things you see on TikTok too is midnight releases.
Oh
It's dead.
man. Oh
Like the
yeah.
Call of Duty releases, the World of Warcraft releases, people in cosplay. It used to be the same with
Could
movies,
you
dude.
imagine
Remember?
what like a Battlefront 2 midnight release would have looked like? People would be like lightsabers and dressed up as stormtroopers and shit, going to EB games to get their. I remember like just sitting there at the metal gate, just waiting for them to roll it up so you could get in there and get your game.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was,
the butterflies, man.
and everyone was so nice and so excited. It wasn't like this Black Friday experience where they're beating each other up for a cheap TV.
No.
Everyone knew they were getting what they were getting, and they were so excited to get it and run home and spend the next 48 hours just diving into whatever the thing was. And we don't get that
Hmm.
anymore because you're like, oh, I'll set the download and then nobody stays up late to play a new game release. Most of the game releases are like noon, 2 p.m. now. And it, again, maybe I'm old, but it loses some of its magic. It really does. It's not what it used to be. And I think movies are the same way. Remember the prequel trilogy, the people dressing up and sitting online, and Conan had Triumph the Insult Comic Dog come out and make fun of all the Star Wars fans. You ever see that video?
Yeah.
It's fucking hysterical. When he's talking to the guy dressed as Darth
Uh huh.
Vader,
I
and he's
haven't
like,
seen that. He hasn't.
which button do I push to come and have your mother come and pick you up?
I haven't. He hasn't used that puppet in a long time.